part of owning a restaurant?
So I mentioned it comes in stages. I think next the hardest part is maybe the amount of work that people underestimate go into running a restaurant. People have no idea how much work is involved. You don't just open your doors and put out food. There's a lot of work involved to make sure you don't run out of food, making sure that your employees are happy, making sure that everyone's getting paid, making sure the bills are paid, making sure that people don't get sick from your food, making sure that you've got the right people, that your employees are showing up on time. There's just so much work involved. People have no idea how much work is involved in running a restaurant. So once I think that hits, that starts to hit you. Every time you turn around, there's just no rest. A restaurant owner's hours are pretty much 24/7. At any given point, you need to show up for your business. Hence why I think so many restaurants fail. It's just so demanding. And so many people, and you have to be able to give everything that you got to that business.
Great. What factors or issues?
Oh wait, if I can answer another thing too that's
ahead.
coming up. I think, again, I mentioned in stages, another component. Once you decide, and then getting managers, another part is trusting. When you finally decide you're going to hire managers, to make sure that you can train these people appropriately and that you can trust that they're going to do the right job. Holding them accountable to expectations, that's one of the toughest parts right there, is being able to pull back so you can focus on other things and entrusting your business that's going to be well run. At the same time, holding everyone accountable and checking numbers, making sure that everything's good. Another challenge that can come to a successful restaurant owner or business owner that can be tough is considerations for expansion. What do you do if you're a successful restaurant? What do you do next? When opportunities start coming your way.
We're recording. We'll be right back.
Yeah. And you don't know which ones are the most appropriate. Which I think will involve reaching outside your network and getting experts involved to assist you. Again, challenges that come with being successful. These are luxury challenges. What do I do next? Where do I go next? Do I open up another one? Same concept, different concept. Do I get partners involved? Do I remain happy with this one restaurant and focus on my personal life? Another frustrating or challenging part can be creating a balance between home life and business. It's very, very challenging. The two are often blurred. It's very difficult not to bring the restaurant home at night time. It's very challenging. So these are all things that are all on a day's work.
Yes. What factors, issues, would you encourage someone thinking about starting a restaurant to consider? What factors, issues would you encourage someone thinking about starting a restaurant to consider?
Yeah, number one, are you focused? Are you disciplined? Are you prepared to give it your all? You have to be absolutely disciplined with your money, with your habits, with your time, being able to prioritize your time. And just discipline, really. There are a lot of people that, again, they think it's going to be easy breezy, or they underestimate how much work it's going to be, that you have to be able to pull away from things and prioritize what's really important in your life and what isn't. What must you stop doing in order for you to focus on your business? Just discipline. Yeah, being disciplined. And another thing to consider, how's your credit score? How are you with paying bills? What's your relationship with money?
That's a good point.
If you're not good at saving money, you're going to have trouble running a successful business. If you don't know how to allocate resources, a lot of restaurant owners, they open up a restaurant, money comes in right away, and guess where all that money's going? In their own pockets. They get very excited by all this money coming in, and they don't have the discipline to say, you know what, I get paid last, if I get paid at all. Everything else comes first. The bills come first, the landlord comes first, the light comes first, my employees come first, I come last. If you don't have the discipline to manage money, you're going to have to find it somewhere and figure out a way to do that. So right there, that's another one.
Yeah.
Money and...
I think you already answered this question, but I'm going to throw it out there anyway. What were some of the most difficult stages and steps in the startup stage? So what was the most difficult things in the to start up? But I think you may have touched upon it earlier, but that's the question.
Two of them, the two biggest obstacles, and maybe three. Number one, finding a space. If you don't have a successful business already, you're just starting out from scratch, a lot of people aren't going to take, well, at least we found that a lot of people wouldn't take a chance on us. Landlords and brokers, because we did not have a successful record of opening up a restaurant or a business. And we all know how the failure rate for restaurants. So that's very, very challenging, getting a landlord or a real estate agent to believe in us. Quite often we were being outbid by other established restaurateurs. Manhattan restaurateurs looking to open up a Brooklyn restaurant, and we'd be all looking at the same space, and of course, guess who gets it? The established restaurateur versus us. So that was one of the biggest challenges. The other big challenge, of course, was finding money, getting money. obtaining money. If you don't have the money to begin with, you're going to have to do a lot of asking around. They say look to the 3 F's first: your friends, family, and fools. Those are the first people you should be chasing after when it comes to money before you go to the banks.
Friends, family, and what?
Fools.
Fools.
Okay.
Who are the fools? Whoever's willing to give you the money.
Exactly. Whoever's willing to give you money. Good luck. Good luck. Hope you get it back. And then, but getting banks to finance a restaurant is very, very challenging. Very challenging. We lucked out, and you know our story. We have the margarita story. We lucked out, but it's very, very challenging. So finding a space and finding money, very, very challenging. It's not impossible. It can be done. You have to be very, very creative about it. In our case, aside from that margarita story, we took out credit card loans and we took out student loans. We applied for school, took one class, took the money, and dropped out. And dropped out right around the time that the restaurant was opening up so that we had money, because you default on your loan. As soon as you drop out, you default and you have to start paying it back. So we made sure that we dropped out. We didn't go back to the semester the moment the restaurant opened. So they were creative, and there were micro lenders out there as well. People that will lend you money, but at a bit higher rate than what a bank might lend you.
Okay. Great. Those are the end of questions there. But just to the 1 or 2 out here, maybe even 3. Fear of failure prevents a lot of people of opening a business, and some people are really fearful of putting their whole life savings into a business and have the carpet taken off, or they lose the shirt off their back, and that fear prevents people from even starting. What would you tell a business owner who's stuck in that fear, or with that fear?
Or an entrepreneur or a business owner?
Entrepreneur. How to start your business? I guess whoever just wants to even begin a business. Is that a business owner?
Yeah, sure. My advice is 2 things. Either
person who just started, they have no experience.
Just started or starting to, in terms of fear, because you talked about fear. That prevents people
from opening a business, starting a business.
Okay. So, because I'm hearing 2 questions. People fear, people who are, it keeps them afraid from starting a business, and then you also threw in people that just started a business.
Oh, no, the people who are they haven't started. Okay. They like to start it, but the fear prevents them from starting it. What would you tell those people?
What would I tell them? I'll tell them you have 2 choices. You can either stay stuck in fear, and that's okay. That's where you want to be. That's okay. That's safe and comfortable for you. That's okay. Stay there. But otherwise, if you're really tired of it and you really want to make something of yourself, just go for it. Just go for it. Call in resources. Ask for help. Take some first steps. What is a first step, really? What's a first step? And what's the worst you can lose? You don't have it now to begin with. What's the worst you can lose? Nothing, really. But otherwise, no risk, no glory. I risked it all. I risked everything. Every financial advisor will tell you don't borrow against your 401k. You got to save that nest egg for the future. I borrowed against mine. Don't do this and don't do that. You got to save up for the future. I risked everything. But I also made sure that I focused in my mind. When I quit the job that I had, that 9 to 5, and I'm opening up this restaurant, I am determined. I am so focused and determined that I will never, ever, 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 knock on wood, because you should never say never, but I will never, ever, ever fill out another job application again. Ever. I will never go to somebody and say, will you please hire me ever again? So thus, this restaurant better succeed. So again, you can either stay safe and comfortable and unhappy, that's your choice, or you can decide to be big, play big, act big, and take some really, really big decisions. If you want glory, you have to be able to risk. You want success, you want stability, you want all the things that come along with whatever it is that you pursue. It comes along with having your own business, the freedom to be your own boss. Of course, it comes with a lot of work. Independence, creativity, more flexibility, the ability to create jobs, to contribute to the economy, the things that really excite me. I love the fact that I'm contributing to the economy here. I'm giving people an incredible experience. Again, you can play small and safe or play large and risk. And you know what? And if you don't win, it's a learning lesson that's very, very valuable as well. That will help you in other areas of your life. Whether you decide to pursue, again, another venture, that this time, you know what, I learned from my last mistakes, or you decide to go off in another direction. You will have learned from everything you're learning. And that price tag, no lesson in life comes without a price tag. No lesson in life comes without a price tag.
What do you think about multiple partners, and would you recommend someone just starting a business to stick with one partner or maybe be a sole proprietorship versus maybe multiple partners? You know how some family members get uncles and cousins and together to start a business. Any suggestions or advice you would give someone regarding that issue?
regarding partnerships, my best advice is to get a lawyer involved to make sure that your interests are protected. If it's your idea and you're looking to get other people involved who are going to want to have a say in your business, and they will want to have a say in your business. Even if somebody just contributes $1, they will throw back and say, I'm part owner too. You could put in $100,000. You got to make sure that everything is written down in contract. It's made very clear who has the controlling interest in the business, who gets to make the major decisions, and how decisions aren't reached. Is it by a majority? Well, majority is it, whatever decision you guys come to. You need to make sure you have everything done on paper. There should be no gentleman agreements, handshakes. Okay, thank you so much, wonderful, and off we go.
And even with families involved, this
even more so. I recommend staying away from family, as a matter of fact. And if you can do it by yourself, fantastic. You can get one person. You absolutely need to get another person involved. Go for it. You need to start bringing in more people. Make sure that it's made very clear whose interest is what in the business, and to make sure that there's a buyout agreement also. Again, get lawyers involved. The buyout agreement. So if somebody decides, you know what, I'm out, they don't sell their share to someone else who may end up now being your partner, someone you may not even like. It can be, a friend of theirs or a spouse. So buyout agreements giving you the right to first buy out that partner, or again, get lawyers involved in everything.
Okay, one last question that I can think of. Being a manager and an owner, you have to train staff and have dedicated staff to be successful. But over time, or for whatever reason, then the staff becomes not as motivated in the beginning. What are signs that you can see as an owner and manager that tells you that this person is no longer vested in your company?
When the communication starts to shut down. If I hear less and less communication about things that are important to me, as I've made clear, this is what's important to me and this is what I need to know about and hear about. When I see less communication trickling down, that to me is a warning sign. When I start seeing things not being done little by little by little, forgetful, employees being forgetful, little slips, that's a warning sign for me. When I start seeing that employees aren't returning, my management team or employees aren't returning phone calls, aren't following rules, that's very apparent. This person is over it. When I start hearing complaints from the team about this person's attitude, about them not pulling their weight, there needs to be a discussion.
How about people like who are servers and busters and stuff? How can you tell when they're no longer motivated? Where the communication might not be so direct.
Sure. Well, in this restaurant in Bogota Bistro, we have a reward system. These are for the servers, where we grade them monthly on tip percentages, on sauce sales, on how many deliveries they're taking, and everyone is encouraged highly to take delivery phone calls and take out food phone calls as well. And we reward them with points culminating with your with food credit here at the restaurant, but best of all, their first top 3 picks in the section that they'd like to work in the restaurant, and that was quite the lucrative prize right there. You get to pick the section, and most often there's certain sections here that are much more lucrative than others. Mm-hmm. And if you're aware that there's a particular party that particular night that's generating so much money, you know what, I want that section. So that's the big prize. So if we start to see somebody consistently in the lower third, consistently in the lower third ranking of all servers, there's an issue there. The person's either not into it or they're over it. Or they just didn't belong here to begin with. And then we have a conversation. Then we remind them that they have choices. We have choices that we'll exercise, and they have choices too that they can exercise. But it has to be a win-win. It has to be a win-win. But ultimately, I need to be happy. If you're not happy, I'm not happy, and I need to do something about that. Either get you out or get you on board. But I can't force anyone to do what I need them to do.
Great. Now I'm going to throw one last real quick one. There was a lot of information in this panel, and for participants who are leaving, what are the top 3 things that they should remember when they're going home? And this was so much information you just gave. You got to narrow down to 3 that someone leaves with.
So basically, if I can do it, you can do it. Okay? If I can do it, you can do it. Number 2, ask for help. I always give that one, ask for help. Don't keep your dreams to yourself. Don't keep your vision to yourself. Ask for help. Tell people what you're doing. And that's part of ask for help. And take a look at your credit rating. Start cleaning up your credit if you haven't done so already, and don't commit any crimes. If you're looking to open up a bar, if you've got a police record, an arrest record, it's not going to happen. Either as your business or as a partner in a business. If they see a history of an arrest, so don't get arrested. Ask for help. What would the 2? Just do it. Just go for it.
Just do it and check your credit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, right there.
All right then. Cool.
Yeah, that's a good beginning.
Yes.